Hey everyone, welcome back. In our last video, we did the hydraulic arm sub-assembly seen here. In this video, we're going to do the hydraulic arm claw portion, or our sub-assembly 3. So let's go ahead and get started. Let's come on up and start a new design. And we're going to go ahead and save it here as sub-assembly 3 for the hydraulic arm. Okay, go ahead and save that. So the first thing we're going to do is come on up here to our claw mount and insert that claw mount into our current design. Okay, and then we're going to go ahead, select OK, and let's go ahead and ground it. Okay, all right, now we're going to go ahead and start adding the parts on here. And the first thing we're going to do here is we're going to add our 2 gears and work from there. All right, so let's go ahead and insert our left gear. And I'm going to just kind of move it into position and move it up like so. Come over here to assemble and joint. And we're going to use a Revolute joint. So select Revolute, come back to position. I'm going to click on that circle. And I know it goes with that circle right there. And select OK. Okay, looking good. So one thing worth noting is that we're going to come back later and we're going to do all the little nuts and bolts later. All right, so first I want to go ahead and assemble this guy and get it functioning. And then at the end of the video, okay, we'll add all the little nuts and bolts later, and feel free to do that on your own or watch the video if you need. Now let's go ahead and repeat this process for our right gear. Insert into current design. Once you have it in position, select OK, and let's come up to assemble and joint. And we're going to do the same thing as last time with a Revolute joint. Okay, come back to position. And I'm going to select right there. And I know it goes with right there. Select OK. And now, okay, our 2 gears should work. But we got to get them functioning together. All right, so listen carefully as we do this. Now we're going to basically go ahead and let's get them straight so that we kind of line them up here. I'm going to line this one up straight. Line this one up straight. Okay. And now I want to check my teeth. I want to make sure they kind of interlock. And that looks pretty good. I'm going to move this one over just a hair, something like this. I'm going to come up to it. Once I have them in position, I'm going to come to assemble. I'm going to do a motion link and I'm going to capture the position. Okay. I'm going to click on this joint and that joint. And they look pretty good, like they're rotating appropriately. If one's going counterclockwise, you can change it by, well, going the other way. But in this case, it looks like they're going the right way. So I'm going to select OK. So now when I move them, our 2 gears should work together. All right, that looks pretty good. All right, so now let's come over to our claw connecting rod and we're going to insert that into current design. And we're going to insert 2 of these. Okay, and I'm going to rotate them into place, kind of like so. Select OK. Assemble joint, and we're going to do a Revolute joint again. And we're going to go ahead and select that circle, and I want it to go to that circle. Hit OK. Okay, let's do the other side now. Insert into current design. Move it into position. That looks pretty good. Assemble, joint. Hit OK. All right, so now we have these 2 connecting rods here kind of moving together. Now let's go ahead and insert our claw. All right, so now let's go ahead and insert our claw here. So we're going to go to insert into current design. And I'm going to rotate it around something like that. Okay, move it over here and kind of out of the way here so we can see it. And kind of into position and out of the way at the same time. Select OK. Come to assemble and joint, and we're going to do a Revolute joint. Okay. And I'm going to click there, and we're going to click there. Okay, looking good. Now we're going to do another joint, Revolute joint. Okay, and we want to this time click there, click there. select OK. And if we did it right, hopefully our claw sort of goes in and out. And it does. Good. Cool. Let's see the other claw now. Okay, so right click, insert into current design. Kind of move it into position here. A little too far. Whoa. Okay, that looks pretty good. Let's go to Assemble and Joint. And once again, we're going to do a Revolute joint. We want to make sure that that hole right there corresponds to that hole right there. Select OK. And let's go ahead and repeat this process with a Revolute joint there so that it corresponds with that hole right there. Select OK. Okay, that looks pretty good. Just check it out when you're done. Make sure everything's functioning right. Looks pretty good. All right, now let's go ahead and insert our gripper portion. And I 3D printed these out of like a Ninja Flex flexible material here, so they'll have to be a little bit better at picking up stuff. And we're going to need to do 2 of these, obviously. Okay, so once you have it in position, go ahead and just do a rigid joint. Okay, and we're going to want to go ahead and select that hole and that hole. There we go. Let's do the other one. Okay, and like I said, we'll do the nuts and bolts later, but for now, let's go ahead and do the second gripper. So right click, insert into current design. And this one, we're going to kind of rotate around like that. Hit OK. And right there. And that should do it for our grippers at least. All right, now let's go ahead and start entering all of our M3 bolts here. Okay. So like I said earlier, feel free to stop this video and start inserting all of your smaller, okay, M3 nuts and bolts here, and do it on your own, or feel free to follow along with my video if you need help. All right, so the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and start inserting a whole bunch of M3 by 8mm bolts. Okay, so let's go ahead and do that. Insert into current design. And I'm just going to kind of work my way around here. There's a whole bunch of them. Okay, so once I kind of have that in position, go ahead and select Assemble and Joint. I'm going to select that circle, and I know it goes to that circle. Select OK. Insert another one. Okay. Insert another one. And once you get the hang of this, like I said, you could probably start doing it on your own, but feel free to continue watching if you like. So we're going to do joint. Okay, we got 4 here. We're going to do 4 more on the other side. All right, so we got those bolts entered. Now let's do one here and one here, but these bolts got to be a little bit longer. So now let's go ahead and do our M3 by 12 millimeter bolts and insert them into current design. And we're going to move them over here. Select OK. Okay, we're going to continue on with a rigid joint. I'm going to just select right there. Okay, let's do our other one. Select OK. All right, looking good. Now that we got all those done, now we just got to put our M3 nuts on top of them. All right, so let's come on over to our M3 nut, right click, insert into current design. I'm going to move it up and into our design here. And I'm going to try do this as fast as possible just to make this video not so long. All right, so I'm going to add all rigid joints. All right, one down, bunch more to go. Right click into current design. And if you're actually laser engraving this, it's important to realize that you should be using lock nuts for this claw portion. Lock nuts will make this thing function a lot better. All right, so let's go grab another M3 nut, insert into current design. Lock nuts have a little nylon insert in them that hold them in place better than a typical, your basic M3 nut, if you will. All right, so go ahead and select OK. Okay, so 3 down, a couple more to go here. And our last two right here. All right, and our last M3 bolt. And like I said, make sure you're using lock nuts if you actually are making a physical version of this hydraulic arm here. Okay, so I think we're pretty much done here. It's looking pretty good. Let me make sure we forgot one right there. So let's go ahead and do that real quick. All right, now let's double check. And it's a good idea you do it at home. Double check, make sure all your nuts and bolts are on there. It looks pretty good. We've got all of them on there. And the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to come up here and I'm going to come to joints now. And I'm going to turn off the visibility of all of them right there. Boom. So now we're looking good. Now we can see our claw portion a little bit better here. All right, so that'll do it for our subassembly 3. All right, in the next video, we're going to assemble the entire claw using all of our 3 subassemblies. Thanks for watching. We'll see you in the next video.